Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Calls for Confetti's YouTube channel. This is Dawn Pauly, and I'm so glad you could join me. Today, I'm using some of the new products This Calls for Confetti just came out with. Here is the Easter eggs plate and stencil set. You get the die and the stencils together, which I think is really great. You can use the stencil to decorate the eggs, and the die cuts them out so you can have individual eggs as well. Then I'll be using this Easter egg die set, and this also comes with a stencil. However, I'm only using the big egg die today. I'm pairing it up with the painted pattern paper pack. I'm using the green polka dot paper today, but they have stripes and square patterns as well, which is really good. You can use it for just about any type of card. If you saw my last video I made with the shaker card, you would know that I had this egg left over from the die cutting my shaker window, and I didn't want to waste it, so I'm going to make a quick card with it. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is use the egg plate die to emboss my background. I decided I didn't want to just have a plain white background. First, I put my cutting plate, then the embossing mat, then a piece of white cardstock, and then I'm going to put the egg plate over the cardstock. And I did decide to tape it in place so it doesn't move around when I run it through the die cut machine. And then I'm going to put the other cover plate over it, and I'm going to run it through my die cut machine. As you can see, it came out really nice. You got a nice impression from the eggs onto the cardstock. Next, I'm going to use the stencil to emboss the different designs onto the eggs. I'm going to basically use the same sandwich that I just used before. Sorry, I'm a little out of frame here. I didn't realize it. So I'm using the cutting plate, the embossing mat, and then the cardstock. I tape the stencil in place on top of the cardstock so it doesn't move around, and then another cutting plate. I decided to add an extra piece of cardstock underneath the cutting mat to give it more pressure so that it will emboss better when it goes through the die cut machine. And I am using the Gemini Junior today. And look at how nice the embossing came out on this. Next, I'm going to ink blend the edges a little bit with my Distress Oxide Squeezed Lemonade. Now, I will tell you, I did go a little heavy-handed with the ink blending, and if I make this card again, I probably wouldn't put so much of the yellow around the edges, so you put as much or as little as you like. I was fine with how it turned out, and that's why I didn't redo it, but I do think I would have liked a little less of the yellow. And now I'm going to start to assemble the card. I adhere the piece of green speckled pattern paper on top of an A2 size card base. And then I adhere the ink blended background on top of the pattern paper. And then I'm just going to adhere a piece of craft foam to the back of the egg-shaped pattern paper to give it some dimension. And then I'm going to adhere the egg to the front of the card. For the sentiment, I just adhered a Happy Easter that I had in my stash to the front of the card. To finish off the card, I'm using This Calls for Confetti's flat back cream pearls. I have this little tray to put them in, and I'm using this great lift and release tool. One end has a wax tip on it that helps you to pick up the pearls really easy, and the other end has a pointy tip. I'm going to adhere them in place with my liquid glue. And that's basically it. That's going to complete my card for today. This card was super quick and easy to make, and I know you can't really see it, but the embossed eggs on it really looks great. The best part is that I used the leftover egg from the shaker card that I made. If you haven't seen that video on This Calls for Confetti's channel, you might want to check it out. That was a very fun card to make. I want to thank you for joining me on This Calls for Confetti's YouTube channel. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the card. And be sure to subscribe to This Calls for Confetti's YouTube channel and hit the bell so you get notifications on when new content is added. And don't forget to subscribe to their other social media platforms as well and check out their website for all their new releases. I want to thank you for spending your time with me and have yourself a wonderful day.